Imagine holding a small, ordinary-looking coin in your hand, something most people wouldn't even glance at twice. It's the kind of coin you might get back as change at a grocery store, slip into your pocket, and forget about entirely. Yet this very coin carries a story that stretches across American history, modern minting technology, and the quiet passion of collectors who know that value doesn't always announce itself loudly. This is the story of the 2015 United States 5-cent coin with the P Mint mark, a coin that proves even in the modern era, surprises can still hide in plain sight. To really appreciate this coin, we have to step back and understand where it fits in the long tradition of American nickels. The 5-cent piece has been part of everyday life in the United States since the 19th century, evolving through different designs and eras. Long before the Jefferson nickel existed, Americans carried shield nickels, Liberty head nickels, and the iconic Buffalo nickel, each reflecting the artistic tastes and national identity of its time. In 1938, the Jefferson nickel was introduced, replacing the Buffalo nickel and bringing with it a more refined, presidential portrait that aligned with a growing sense of historical reverence in American coinage. By the time we arrive at 2015, the Jefferson nickel had already undergone subtle updates and refinements. Modern minting techniques had improved dramatically since the coin's introduction in 1938. The U.S. Mint now used advanced engraving, higher quality dyes, and more precise striking processes, all aimed at producing coins that were sharper and more consistent than ever before. The 2015 nickel is a product of this modern era, yet it still carries the weight of tradition in every line and detail. In 2015, the U.S. Mint produced a large number of Jefferson nickels for circulation. At first glance, this might make the coin seem unremarkable. After all, rarity is often associated with low mintage numbers, and the 2015 P nickel was not struck in tiny quantities. Millions of these coins entered circulation, jingling in cash registers and rolling through vending machines across the country. For most people, it was just another nickel. But collectors know that mintage numbers alone do not tell the whole story. Condition, strike quality, and small details can transform an everyday coin into something extraordinary. The 2015 P. Jefferson nickel is a perfect example of this phenomenon. While countless examples show signs of wear, contact marks, or weak strikes, a small number were struck with exceptional sharpness and preserved in near-perfect condition. In the world of coin collecting, grading is everything. A difference of just 1 point on the grading scale can mean a dramatic change in value. Most 2015 P nickels in circulated condition are worth only their face value of 5 cents. Even uncirculated examples, if they show minor flaws or average strike quality, may only be worth a small premium. But when a coin reaches the highest levels of preservation, the story changes completely. Collectors are driven by the pursuit of perfection, especially when it comes to modern coins. Because so many examples exist, only the very best survive at the top of the grading scale. These coins are often pulled directly from mint rolls, carefully handled, and preserved to avoid any damage. Even then, not every coin will qualify for a top grade. This makes the finest known examples disproportionately rare compared to their more common counterparts. As interest in modern coin collecting has grown, so has attention on coins like the 2015 P nickel. Online communities, registry sets, and auction records have brought greater visibility to high-grade examples. Collectors compete to assemble the finest sets possible, and that competition drives demand for the best coins available. When only a handful of examples achieve the highest grades with full steps, those coins become the crown jewels of their category. This is where the story takes a dramatic turn. Imagine a collector submitting a 2015 P nickel for grading, unsure of what the final result will be. After careful examination, the coin receives an exceptionally high grade, with full steps clearly visible and surfaces that are nearly flawless. Suddenly, what was once just a 5-cent piece is transformed into something far more valuable. Auction results and private sales have shown just how far this transformation can go. Collectors are willing to pay substantial sums for the very best examples, not because the coin is old or made of precious metal, but because it represents perfection within its series. It becomes a benchmark, a standard against which all other examples are measured, and this brings us to the moment that surprises most people, especially those who think modern coins can't be valuable. The 2015 United States 5-cent coin with the P mint mark, when found in top-tier condition, professionally graded at the highest levels, and displaying full steps, has reached a value that seems almost unbelievable for a nickel. What started as everyday pocket change, something you might have ignored or spent without a second thought, has climbed into a completely different category. In the collector market, one of these exceptional examples has achieved a value of $117. Yes, a single modern nickel, still bearing the familiar face of Thomas Jefferson and the image of Monticello, has proven that even in today's world, hidden treasures are still out there, waiting to be discovered. Picture this: you're holding a small, ordinary-looking coin in your hand. It's light, cool to the touch, and at first glance, it seems like something you've passed over thousands of times without a second thought. A nickel. Just 5 cents. But today, this is not just any nickel. This is a 2008 United States 5-cent coin with the P mint mark, and behind this modest piece of metal is a story that stretches across American history, artistic evolution, economic change, and the fascinating world of coin collecting. By the time this story ends, you might never look at pocket change the same way again. To truly appreciate the 2008 5-cent coin, we need to take a step back and understand where the American nickel comes from. The 5-cent coin has been part of U.S. currency since the mid-19th century, evolving through several designs before settling into what most people recognize today. The Jefferson nickel, first introduced in 1938, replaced the Buffalo nickel and brought with it a new level of realism and dignity. Thomas Jefferson, third President of the United States and one of the nation's founding fathers, became the face of the coin, while his Virginia home, Monticello, appeared on the reverse. This design would become one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. The year 2008 itself is important context. This was a time of major economic uncertainty in the United States. The financial crisis was unfolding, markets were volatile, and public confidence in institutions was being tested. Coins minted during this period circulated through a nation under stress, passing from hand to hand as people bought groceries, paid for gas, or saved every cent they could. The 2008 nickel became a quiet witness to history, a small piece of metal moving through a big moment in time. From a minting perspective, the 2008 P nickel was struck in large numbers. Philadelphia produced hundreds of millions of nickels that year to meet the demands of everyday commerce. Because of this high mintage, most 2008 P nickels found in circulation are worth only their face value. This is where many people stop paying attention. They assume that if a coin is common, it can't possibly be valuable. But in the world of coin collecting, rarity is only one piece of the puzzle. Condition plays a massive role in determining a coin's value. While millions of 2008 P nickels were minted, very few have survived in pristine, untouched condition. Coins that were immediately set aside, carefully stored, or never circulated can retain sharp details, original luster, and flawless surfaces. These are the coins collectors search for, and they are far harder to find than you might expect. Then there are minting anomalies and errors, the wild cards of numismatics. Coins are mass-produced objects, and despite modern technology, mistakes still happen. Off-center strikes, die cracks, doubled dies, and other errors can transform an otherwise ordinary coin into something extraordinary. A 2008 P nickel with a noticeable and authenticated mint error can suddenly jump from being worth 5 cents to being worth tens or even hundreds of dollars. Collector interest in modern coins has also grown significantly over the years. Many collectors focus not just on ancient or rare coins, but on high-grade examples of modern issues. These collectors appreciate the challenge of finding the best possible specimen from a year when most coins were heavily circulated. The 2008 P nickel sits right in that sweet spot, modern enough to be familiar, old enough to be increasingly hard to find in top condition. Another factor that adds to the appeal of the 2008 P nickel is its place in the Jefferson nickel timeline. It represents the continuation of the forward-facing Jefferson portrait, a design that itself was a bold departure from tradition. For collectors building complete sets or type collections, the 2008 P is an essential piece, and demand steadily increases as time goes on and pristine examples become scarcer. Imagine a collector carefully examining a roll of nickels, searching for that one perfect coin. Under bright light, they tilted back and forth, watching the luster dance across Jefferson's face and Monticello's columns. They check for scratches, nicks, and wear. When they find a coin that looks untouched, their heart beats a little faster. This is the thrill of coin collecting, and the 2008 nickel has provided that thrill more times than most people realize. Now, let's talk about the moment everyone waits for: value. Most 2008 nickels you find in your change are still worth just 5 cents. That's the reality for circulated examples. But when you step into the world of high-grade, professionally graded coins, the story changes dramatically. A flawless or near-flawless 2008 5-cent coin, especially one with outstanding luster and strike quality, can command serious attention at auction. Under the right circumstances, a 2008 USA 5-cent coin with the P Mint mark has reached a current value of $119. That's not a typo. From 5 cents to $119, all because of condition, preservation, and collector passion.